Hey there champs, we got some breaking news, and this is how we know that Canelo Alvarez is one of the biggest faces of boxing, or if not, he is the biggest face of boxing, because Canelo Alvarez has stated that he had a big announcement to make today. But this announcement was not meant for the Spanish-speaking boxing world or the American boxing world. It was meant only for the Mexican boxing world that live in Mexico. And the whole American boxing world got mad at Canelo because the announcement wasn't what they thought it was going to be. And the whole entire boxing world in the world thought it was meant for them. And that's what everybody was speaking of today. And everybody was all in the Kool-Aid, but they don't even know what flavor it is. And this is what we are going to be talking about next. But before we get into that, if you guys are not subscribed, please punch and knock out that subscription button. That way you'll never see it again. And ding that notification bell. That way you'll never miss any of my new boxing videos. Alright guys, let's get to the round. Ding, ding. Okay champs, let's get started. So it seemed that everybody was talking about Canelo Alvarez announcement. And not just that, everybody made videos about this yesterday and they just assumed of what's going to happen. And yes, everybody took their best educated guess. I don't blame them for thinking that. But to tell you the truth, myself, I was completely clueless of what Canelo was going to say today. I did not think much of it, but I just wanted to hear the news already. But I did hear some outrageous statements. The most outrageous statement was that Canelo Alvarez was going to leave the PBC because they had no money. He was going to sign a deal with the Zone. But I thought that was hogwash because the PBC had put in the best boxing events all last year. But don't get me wrong, Top Rank and Golden Boy had put on some pretty good events as well. But each platform has really good fighters. Imagine they were all in one platform. The rankings will change for sure. And I also heard that Canelo is going to retire so he won't fight David Benavidez. Those are the two most outrageous claims that I heard all day. But all of this was not the case, as he did not even announce any of his upcoming fights. So when the program started, Canelo got the red carpet treatment as he made his way to the platform. He came out with a Spanish rap song. And as we all know, this interview was not even meant for us, and I am American Mexican. I say that because I am American first and Mexican second. But I am blessed to speak, understand, and write both languages fluently. But this interview was meant for Canelo to sign another year with Boxeo Azteca TV. And Canelo has stated that the top heads of Boxeo Azteca wanted him to charge Mexico for his pay-per-view fights. But he stated that he does not want to do that because he loves his people and he wants all his people to be able to see all of his fights. Which is good because to watch Canelo for a pay-per-view fight is around $70 or $80. We all know Mexico is not the richest country and they do not get paid in dollars, they get paid in pesos. I don't think they could afford to pay for the pay-per-view fight even if they wanted to. Believe me, $10 goes a long way in Mexico. I wonder how much the tickets were when he fought John Ryder in Mexico. Do you guys remember that fight? I'm sure you guys remember the ring size. That has to be the smallest ring I have ever seen in my life. And I've never seen a ring size that small ever again. So Canelo did not announce his next fight, but he did state that it was going to be an American. So that tells you right there that you can at least rule out Jaime Munguia, since Jaime Munguia is from Mexico. But we all believe it was gonna be Jermall Charlo, the twin brother of Jermell Charlo. Canelo already beat one of the Charlo brothers, but he did not announce who he was going to fight next. He just announced the date on May 4th and is going to take place in Las Vegas. He stated that he was going to announce his next opponent in the next week or two. So this leaves Charlo and David Benavidez. And I personally don't want him to fight Terence Crawford. I know Terence Crawford is a really good, great fighter, but there are weight classes for a reason. I don't care how skilled Terence Crawford is. Canelo Alvarez will end that guy's career. Yes, I know he does have power in both hands and he could switch from orthodox to southpaw. But do you guys really think that power will translate up 3 weight classes against Canelo? A guy that has the sturdiest chin in boxing? He took Triple G's best hits and he took Bebo's best hits? Terence Crawford will be food for Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford is going to sell his oath and his health for a payday. I guarantee you Canelo Alvarez will be able to absorb and take any power punch from Terence Crawford. And I also guarantee you that Terence Crawford will not be able to take Canelo Alvarez's hardest punches. Whoever says Terence Crawford is going to be able to take Canelo Alvarez's punches and beat Canelo Alvarez moving up 3 weight classes doesn't know anything about fitness or never actually fought before. Come on, would you guys listen to a fat trainer? I wouldn't listen to a fat trainer. I'd be like, how come all this information is not working out for you? But I digress to my point. Canelo Alvarez said that he still has 5 years left in boxing. So let's do basic math. Canelo Alvarez fights twice a year, on Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day weekend. 5 times 2, that's 10. That's 10 new possible opponents for Canelo Alvarez. So if Canelo Alvarez is saying that he has at least 5 more years in boxing, what makes you think he's not going to fight David Benavidez? Yes, I know he only has 2 more fights left in his contract, but that just means he's either going to go to a different platform or he's going to renew his contract. But after those 2 fights are up, if he does not fight David Benavidez and he goes to another platform, he could be ducking David Benavidez. But I doubt Canelo Alvarez will go to another platform because the PBC is solid. So this is 5 years, and where do you guys think David Morrell will be in 5 years? That will be the next mega fight for Canelo or David Benavidez. And believe me guys, in 5 years the whole roster will be completely different. Who knows, maybe Canelo will have a few more losses in his record. And in 5 years there will be more fighters coming up having at least 20 to 25 wins. What I'm trying to say, as long as you're a boxer, you will always have to prove yourself. Every single boxer will want a crack at Canelo. But I do believe Canelo is the actual face of boxing, since the whole boxing world was in his business. And that business was really only meant for the Mexican boxing world, the Mexican boxing world that lives in Mexico, and was not meant for the English-speaking boxing world at all, since Canelo Alvarez does his own translation and he did not speak any word of English in any of those interviews, and the whole American boxing world was still tuned in. I believe this makes Canelo the real face of boxing. No disrespect to any other boxers, but I doubt anybody announcing something will have this much hype. If you guys like the show, subscribe, like the video, share the video, and that's it for me, champs. I gotta roll.
I shook up the world! I shook up the world! I shook up the world!